guys, Mel here, and in this tutorial I want to show you how to create your own custom desktop with Storyline and Photoshop. So this is what my version of the desktop looks like. As you can see, when you hover or click on items, an animation goes over them with an outline. And you can also add your own pop-ups or different pages if you like. And I want to talk to you about how I got these images and how I edited them. So in this first video, that's what we're going to be talking about. And this tutorial was inspired by Dress Your e-learning to the nines with a custom course player. And what this one, the reason that I created a transparent player for this one is because it really lends itself well to this type of lifelike simulation. And the background I got from Subtle Patterns. It's the tileable wood background. And the images are all from different pictures on Unsplash and Pexels. So you can go ahead and search different images on here to create your own background, or you can even just take pictures of your desktop or items and then edit the backgrounds out of them. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open an image in Photoshop. So I'll open Photoshop and I'll open this coffee cup as a regular picture that we had before. And the reason some of these pictures work better than others is because of the contrast in the background. So you want to pick a picture that has maybe a dark background and the items light, or vice versa. And what I'll do is I just want the coffee cup here, so I'm going to crop into the coffee cup so that it's easier to make this selection. And then I'll click Control+ to zoom in because I'm on a PC. The way that we get rid of the background is we're going to use the quick selection tool, and this is one of many ways that we can get rid of the background. And what I'll do with the quick selection tool is I'll have it on this default setting here, new selection, and then you can change the size of your pointer to smaller or bigger depending on how you would like it. And what you could do with this is you can click and hold and drag to make a selection, or you can just click and make a selection. But what we're going to do is, because this is a great picture because of the contrast in the coffee mug and the background, we're just going to click and hold and drag. And so you can see here we've got rid of, we've selected the coffee mug, and what we want to do is make sure that the coffee mug also has a smooth border around it. And what we can do with this is click on the Refine Edge button under the Quick Selection tool and make sure that there's some smoothness around this. As you can see, it's pretty much smooth, but there will still be some edges, and you can see there's like a little dent in there. So we can shift the edges on this or change the radius so that it's a little bit smoother and looks more natural, even though it will already look pretty natural. And we can shift the edge inwards or outwards, and we'll shift ours outwards a little since there's a little nick in the side there. But you can always go back and edit that out too. So we'll click OK. And in the second part of this, if we just wanted to get rid of the background right now, we could click on Delete on our keyboard, and it should, oops, let's see if that works. You know what, it's actually not going to get rid of the background, so let's go to Edit, Undo. We would have to double click on our background and then click Delete. And then, see, that gets rid of the background. But another way to do this too is, let's just undo that, is to keep the background for use later, but we obviously aren't going to need it, but just in case you need the background later, we can go to Select and then go to Inverse, and what that's going to do is it's going to allow us to create a mask over this so that we can use the background later if we want to. And what we'll do is, under Windows, make sure you have your layers out like we did before, and then click on the Create Layer Mask, Add Layer Mask, and that gets rid of the background layer. But as you can see, if you look on layers here, the background's actually still there. So if we wanted to come back and use that layer later, we could. And now to save this, what we would do is we go to File, Export, and then Save for Web Legacy. That's going to allow us to save this image with the transparent background. So we'll click Save for Web Legacy. you want to have PNG 24 selected and transparency checked off, and then you want to save this, and we'll just save this as Coffee Cup 3. And if you noticed on the desk, we also have this stroke that goes around. You can create the stroke in Photoshop as well, and it's super easy and it will be really quick. So back to your layers panel, what we'll do is we'll go to FX and then we'll click on stroke, and that will put a stroke around our coffee mug. And you can mess around with the size, whatever size you want it. It can be a huge stroke, it can be a little stroke. We'll just keep it at 10 because that's a pretty good size. And you want to make sure it stays within this square box here, or you're going to have to move your box out more. And then you can also change the color. So that's about it. In the second part of the tutorial, we'll go over how to create those animations in Storyline and how to set up our player.